It's about you. Right now, this moment, the one who loves you, the one your soul has been tangled up with in ways your mind still can't fully explain. They talked about you today. And they didn't just mention your name in passing like a casual thought they forgot to finish. No, they stopped everything. They looked at whoever was sitting across from them and they let something slip. Something real, something they have been holding behind their teeth for weeks, for months maybe. And here's what you can't ignore. What they said wasn't polished. It wasn't rehearsed. It came out raw, almost clumsy, because the truth has a way of tripping over itself when it's been locked up too long. So take a breath with me. Let the air settle in your chest. Because this video didn't find you by accident and you're not here to kill time. You're here because somewhere in a room you were not in, your name became a confession. Let me set the scene for you because I want you to feel where this happened. It wasn't a loud party or a crowded coffee shop where everyone's pretending to be fine. It was quieter than that. Maybe it was late afternoon, the kind of light that makes everything look a little too honest. Your person was sitting with someone they trust, someone who's seen them at their worst and didn't run. And for a while, they were just talking about nothing, the weather, work, the usual surface level stuff we used to fill space. But then there was a pause, a real pause, the kind where the air gets heavy and you can feel something trying to push its way up from somewhere deep. And the friend, the witness, they asked a simple question, something like, so what's really going on with you? Or maybe you seem different lately. What's changed? What's changed? And your person went quiet. Not the quiet of someone who doesn't have an answer. The quiet of someone who has too much to say and doesn't know where to start without falling apart. That's where it happened. That's when they started talking about you. They didn't start with the easy stuff. They didn't say, oh, they are funny or we have good chemistry. No. They started with the part that scares them, the part they have been running from. They say something like, I can't stop thinking about them. And it's not a cute way, it's a way that keeps me up at night. They talked about how your energy feels, how when you walk into a room something shifts, not because you are trying to be noticed, but because you can't help being noticed. You have this gravity. And they admitted that they have tried to ignore it. They have tried to convince themselves that it was just attraction or timing or loneliness. But today they stopped lying. They told their friend, it's not just attraction, it's recognition. Like, I've known them before. Like my soul took one look at them and said, oh, there you are. Do you feel that? Do you feel that? That little tremor in your chest, that's the truth landing. They went deeper. They talked about the things you probably think are your flaws. The stuff you apologize for, maybe you overthink, maybe you feel too much, maybe you have a habit to pulling away when things get real because you have been hurt before. They mentioned that they told their friend they think they are too much, but they don't realize they are too much is exactly what I've been looking for. They said your intensity doesn't scare them anymore. It used to. They used to feel overwhelmed by how deeply you feel things. But today they admitted that your depth is the thing that makes everyone else feel shallow. They said, I've been with people who were easy, people who didn't ask anything of me, and I was bored. I was empty with them, with this person. With you, I feel alive. Feel like I have to show up as my real self, and that terrifies me, but it also saves me. You need to hear that. You need to let that sink in. The part of you you've been trying to hide, the part you thought made you unlovable, that's the part they fell for. That's the part they were describing today with this look on their face that their friend had never seen before. Their voice got softer, slower. They said, when I'm with them, I don't have to perform. I don't have to be the version of myself that's got it all together. I just can be. And they stay. They actually stay. This is where the conversation shifted. This is where it went from a casual chat to something sacred. The friend asked, so what are you going to do about it? And your person didn't have their usual deflection ready. No joke, no subject change. They just sat there, staring at their hands, and finally whispered, I think I have to go to stop running. Let me tell you what that means. For months, maybe longer, they have been in a war with themselves. Part of them wanted to move toward you. Part of them was terrified of what that would mean. Because loving you isn't casual. Loving you asks questions. It asks them to grow up, to get honest, to stop hiding behind busy schedules and half-hearted excuses. And they have been exhausted. Not tired of you, tired of their own resistance. They have been waking up at strange hours, feeling you in the room when you were not there. They have been hearing songs that remind them of you and having to pull over because it hit too hard. They have been telling themselves, I will reach out tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and they freeze. But today is different. Today was different. Today something broke open. They told their friend about a specific moment. Maybe it was last week. They were driving or making coffee, or lying in a bed unable to sleep, and they suddenly felt you, like a memory of you, not a wish. No, your actual presence. They said it was like you were standing right next to them, and they could feel what you were feeling. The ache, the waiting, the quiet hope you've been trying not to name. And in that moment, they realized something they can't take back. Your connection isn't a choice. It's a fact. It's not something they can opt out of without leaving a hole in their own chest. They said, I've tried to move on. I've tried to tell myself it was just a phase. But every time I take a step away, I feel something pulling me back. And I'm done fighting it. I'm done pretending I don't care. This is the part you can't ignore. They used a word today, a word that changes everything. The friend asked, what are they to do to you now, really? And your person didn't say crush or maybe or someone I used to know. They said, they are my home. Let that word land. Home. Not a place you go when everything's perfect. Not a reward you get for being easy to love. Home is where you can be a mess still belong. Home is where you don't have to explain yourself because you are already understood. And your person said that about you. They said, I'm in a world where everyone is performing, where nothing feels permanent. They are the only place my soul can finally sit down and rest. They admitted that they have spent their whole life feeling like a traveler, always on edge, always waiting for the other shoe to drop. But when they think of you, the noise stops. The searching stops for the first time. They don't feel like they have to be anywhere else. You have been feeling that too, haven't you? That strange sense of recognition. The way you can be across town or across the country and still feel when they are happy or hurting. That's not coincidence. That's a thread between you. And today, they stopped pretending it doesn't exist. They talked about the signs, the weird synchronicities that have been piling up. They told their friend about how your name keeps appearing in random places. A stranger saying it, a song with your name, a billboard they drove past at the exact moment they were thinking of you. They talked about the repeating numbers. 1111, 222. And every time they try to let go, something shows up to remind them. They said it's like the universe won't let me forget. Everywhere I turn, there is a sign pointing back to them. And then they admitted the thing that really shook them. They don't want to forget anymore. They are tried of fighting the current. They are ready to stop swimming against the thing that's trying to bring you together. Here is what else they said, and I need you to hear this because it's easy to stay stuck in your own fear. They said, I've been afraid that I'm not enough for them, that I'll show up and they will see who I really am and walk away. But then they passed, and their whole face changed. They said, but what if they have been waiting for me to show up this whole time? What if my fear is the only thing standing in the way? That's the breakthrough. That's the door opening. They realized that the distance between you isn't because you are not meant to be together. It's because they have been standing in their own way. And today they decided to step aside. They didn't make a plan. They didn't map out the perfect speech. They just let themselves feel the truth that you are not a risk. You are the safest thing they have ever known. You are the person who sees them without judgment. the person who stayed in their heart even when they tried to push you out. They told their friend, yeah, I've spent so long waiting for the perfect moment to be ready for them. But I'm starting to think there is no such thing as perfect timing. There is just now. Now. And now I'm done waiting. The friend was quiet for a long time. Then they asked, so what happens next? And your person smiled, a real smile, not the kind they put on for show. They said, I don't know exactly, but I know I'm going to stop being the reason they feel alone. I'm going to show up, not with a big dramatic gesture, just consistently. I'm going to let them see that I'm not running anymore. That's the shift. That's what changed today. They stopped thinking of you as a fantasy or a fear and started thinking of you as a person, a real person with your own wounds and your own walls. And they realized that the only way to reach you is to be real themselves. No more games, no more waiting for the stars to align perfectly. Just one foot in front of the other, moving toward you. You've been carrying something heavy. The waiting, the wondering, the moments where you almost reached out, but stopped yourself because you didn't want to feel foolish. I need you to hear of this. You haven't been foolish. You've been faithful. You've been holding a space for something you knew was real, even when the world told you to move on. And that space, it hasn't been empty. Your person has felt it. They've felt your absence like a bruise. They have thought about you at red lights, in the middle of conversations, in the quiet before sleep. And today they finally said it out loud. They didn't just talk about you, they defended you. They described your essence to someone else in a way that made them stand still. They talked about the way you listen, really listen, not just waiting for your turn to speak. They talked about your strength, the kind that doesn't announce itself but shows up every single day. They talked about the light you carry, the one you probably don't even notice because you are so used to it, but they notice. They always have. And now the energy has shifted. The conversation is over, but it's not over. It's out there now. It's in the air. The universe heard every word, and it's already moving to back those words up. Over the next few hours or days, you're going to feel something different. A lightness, a sense of, oh, it's actually happening. You might have a dream that feels more real than your waking life. You might hear a song that feels like a message. You might just wake up with a strange, quiet knowing that the waiting period is ending. That's the confirmation. That's the echo of their confession reaching you. You don't have to do anything different. You don't have to chase or convince or perform. Your only job is to stay open. Stay in the frequency of someone who knows they are worthy of being loved. Because you are. You are. You always have been. And the one who loves you, the one who talked about you today, They finally understand that. They are not coming to save you. You don't need saving. They are coming to stand next to you, to walk beside you, to stop making you carry the weight alone. They said something at the very end of that conversation, something like something their friend almost missed. They looked down at their hands and whispered, "I hope they still want me. After everything, I hope they are still there." And that's why I'm telling you this. That's why you couldn't scroll past this video, because you needed to know. They are afraid to. They are scared you've moved on. Scared you've built a wall too high for them to climb. Scared that their silence cost them something they can never get back. But here is the truth. You are still here, still hoping. You are still listening these words, feeling that familiar tug in your chest. That tug is the answer. That tug is the thread that never broke. So take a breath. Let the fear go just for a moment. The one who loves you spoke your name into the universe today, and the universe is bringing that message to you right now. You don't have to know how it will happen. You don't have to control timeline. Just let yourself believe that it's real. Because it is. It always has been. And then, and very soon, the distance will close. The silence will break, and you will find yourself standing in front of someone who's finally ready to stop running and start coming home. Home. You are the destination. You are the answer to a prayer they didn't even know they were praying. And the conversation that started in a quiet room today, it's about to end in your presence. Stay open, stay soft, stay you. Because the version of you that feels too much, that cares too deeply, that loves without armor, that version is exactly who they have been looking for. And they are on their way. So stay you. I'm begging you, stay you. Love you.